Yu-Gi-Oh! Mint.com is now TradingCardMint.com. Please check out their selection of over 20,000 cards with prices cheaper than TCG Player.
Alright, so as we were digging through the internet, looking at Pale Moon List, we came across this little interesting creature. Now, everything in the TCG has been infinite loop this, infinite loop that. Like, you have to play the loop in order to survive. Well, there are multiple ways to go about this. And this thing right here is one of the loops. Gotta love Pale Moon. So, this is another interesting look at Pale Moon Premium from Japan. And I will say, Japan, I love what you're cooking out here. So guys, check our friends at Zero Damage Playmats for this awesome playmat. And TradingCardMint.com. As always, if you enter MCO40 on checkout, you're going to save a little bit of money on your purchase. Also, if you guys use the TCG Player link down below, you actually help support the channel. So, please, do so. It's always nice. Alright, Oxel to the deck. We play 4 copies of the new Nightmare Doll, Carol. I'm going to call this thing Catherine. So when it's placed, you get to look at the top 5 cards of your deck for a grade 3 Workaroid and call it to rear guard. And then when your grade 3 rear guard is put into your soul, counterblast 1, discard 2 from your hand, write a Workaroid from your soul at stand, and give it drive -1. So basically what ends up happening here is this and Alice start looping hand in hand. You do some cheesy stuff to do some clearing out your counterblast, and you basically just keep rewriting this, attacking your opponent's Vanguard, and then doing Alice things. So, Alice here, in combination with Catherine, creates some very degenerate scenarios. So, first up, Alice doesn't have to hit, which is the craziest thing. So, when placed, you can call up to 1 Workaroid from your soul to rearguard, and that unit gets 5k power. That's for Vanguard. Then at the end of the battle that attacked, counterblast 1, soul blast 1. This goes into your soul, and then you can call a non-grade 3 from your soul to rearguard. By the way, it doesn't have to specifically call a Workaroid. I think that's the thing that makes this card insane, as opposed to its previous counterpart. Just that typing matters for this, not for this. Also, in like the perfect dream where you ride this and get to one of these, it's honestly free value in the grand scheme of things. But you always go Oxel 2 to set up the draw power for this to ensure that you're able to push through those boards. Now, obviously, damage triggers that your opponent hits can mess up your day. I've seen it multiple times, but just looping this and this to start a little infinite loop is quite hilarious. Now, things that are interesting in this build. Play 2 copies of that grade 3 Silverthorn. I say that one because this is the one that's good in standard. So it's at the end of the turn, Vanguard, Rearguard, put all of your other units into your soul. And you draw a card for every 2 put into your soul. And if you put 4 more, you can return a grade 3 card with Silverthorn in its card name from your soul to your hands. Basically, what we do is we go into this for the loop. Then we can tuck away our whole soul to net about 2 to 3 extra cards at the end of the turn. That way our opponent can't blow up our board and things like that. And then our best case scenario, if we have the other one of this in the soul, we go, alright, cool, and bounce it back to hand and get a stride fodder for the next turn. That's really your best value out of this. This card would be quite insane if you could add back any grade 3. I actually kind of wish that we could, but it's a nice little self-package that we have built into the deck. For 1, to maintain draw power, and 2, to get a stride fodder to allow us to continue to play the game. And then our last grade 3 is, what is your name? Trickster Assistant. Oh, we know. So when it's placed, you counterblast 1, choose 1 of your and your opponent's rear guards, put them in the soul. And if 2 cards were put, this gets 10k power. And then, just if it's rode upon, you get to call it to rear guard. Basically, just another unit to beam out. It doesn't have a gift marker, but it's just one of those, hey, want some extra power, kid? I mean, it's kind of a finisher in its own right. So the grade 2s are your toolbox for this deck. So we play 4 copies of Mr. Flying Parrington, which of course has the Magi ability. It's just when it's placed on rearguard, you soul charge 1 card from your soul, and then call this to rearguard in the same column as that unit. So this card for an extender literally is nuts. Even in today's format, seeing Parrington just allowing you to continue on extending with your plays is quite amazing, actually. Like, this card is the heart and soul of the deck, quite honestly. Then we have 2 copies. This is the new Nightmare, right? Oh no, this is the one for GBT05. So when this is placed on rearguard, you can choose up to 1 card named Nightmare Alice from your soul and call it to rearguard. So for the extenders, like I said, Alice is your heart and soul of this deck. You know, you don't want her on Vanguard, you want her in soul. So call this out. Extender, more Alice. Speaking of Alice, we also have the 2 copies of the Nightmare Ellen. Okay, this is from VBT06, so this is your newest one. So it's when it attacks, counterblast 1 to put one of your other Rickroids into the soul, draw a card, and this gets 10k power. So, I mean, tuck away your Alice. Also, this doesn't have to be a grade 3 Workoroid. So, do remember that when you're playing this. You can tuck other Workoroids away and get some extra advantage. Now, we also play 2 copies of the original Misdirection, which is when another of your Pale Moons placed in rearguard from your soul. If you have a Pale Moon Vanguard, you can pay this, or you can call this to a rearguard. At the end of the turn, this tucks back into the soul. So basically, this is a combination with the other grade 3. Grants you an extender, just allows you to flood out more of the column. Honestly, great card. Really good design for this deck. Just kidding. Pale Moon's got so many issues. I have 3 copies of Purple Trap Pieces. This is your generic extender, because when you call this out, you just tuck something back in, call something else. This card is notorious for the loops that it causes. This card is quite dangerous to be unchecked for a lot of today's metagame. 2 copies of this. So whenever your Alice is put into the soul, you just restand this. You put this on an Oxel circle, it's 1200. So you just like, watch me swing infinitely. So every time the Alice comes out, you just get an extra attack. You have a trigger on this, you're literally swinging for 22. Like, this is good value. Play 1 copy of a Gleam for defense, 1 copy of the Rain Elemental for countercharging. You have to understand, getting your Kree Elemental's face up is quite easy in this. I'm actually surprised. Alright. Then we play 4 copies of the Hoop Guardian. So, this thing's other ability is what makes this card so broken. So, auto, choose a card from your hand, place it on Guardian Circle, protect yourself, okay? Then it has Magia. So when this unit is placed on Guardian, if a card named Hoop Monster is in your drop zone, you can soul charge 1, choose up to 1 card from your soul, call it to the front row rearguard, and until the end of the turn it gets 5k power and intercept. At the end of the turn that your unit was called by this effect, put it into the soul. So, what do we care about this? So this actually triggers some of your best defensive plays with Workoroid Kun. The extra value that you get off of this is quite amazing. We put 1 Cat in Boots, 1 copy of the Happiness Clip. I never remember these names. I just know what they do. 4 copies of Prankster. This card is nuts. 2 copies of additional countercharge. Then we play 6 crits. And then 4 copies of the Heal Triggers, rounding out your trigger lineup here. Now, down here in the G-Zone, we have 3 copies of Reride Magia. And then the one thing we care about with this is we just keep rewriting our Magia unit, continuing to extend out our boards. And this does get an additional attack when it's called out, so free value. 4 copies of Harry. This card is, I can't believe how good Harry is. And then we have 1 little Kree Elemental Sabreeze. And then we have Mr. Megatrick. 1 Formido, just mainly for board wipes. 1 copy of Dust. Once again, these cards don't really come up all that much. Then we have 1 Chainsaw. 1 copy of this, our beautiful Loop Extender. Another Kree Elemental G-Guard. And 1 copy of Cold Heart, wrapping up our G-Zone. So guys, please, Check out our friends at tradingcardmint.com and our friends at Zero Damage as well. Enter MCO40 on your checkout. And also, use the TCG player link to support the channel. That's all I gotta say, guys. Hope you enjoyed the Pale Moon deck profile. We're out. Peace.
That's not all, card fighters. Please subscribe for more Cardfight Vanguard content. Please remember to check out MCO40 for Yu-Gi-Oh videos, and please check out MCOgames.com, my store, along with No Limit Gaming, NLGTCG.com for all of your guys' trading card game needs as well. Until next time, guys, remember to hit that subscribe button. Later.